Hello and welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to be looking into user scripts, which is basically a new part of the Chrome API that allows you and your users to add scripts into the page that can run on certain websites. So it's sort of like a way in Manifest version 3 for you to have remote code in a sense, but it has to be defined by the user. So there's a few things to bear in mind here. First, it will only work at the minute from Chrome version 120 onwards. So you can see here I'm using Chrome Canary for these tests. And the other thing, which I suppose is potentially the biggest pain point, but it's also good for security, is that you can only use this when developer mode is enabled. So this example I'm going to show here is based on the example provided by Google with one or two small changes that I've made. So to begin with, I'll just show you what the extension does, then we'll jump in and take a look at the code. So as you can see here, I have developer mode disabled. So if I go up here to try and get to the options page for this extension, you can see it says, you need to have developer mode enabled. So if I go up here now and enable it and come back over here, you can see here that we can actually get into the extension. So what this is basically doing is it gives you two options. So this is probably a good time to actually look at the code. But before we do, I'll just explain it quickly. So there's two types of ways you can inject or create and register this user script. You can either have a file that's within your extension, or you can just provide raw text. So in this case, here's a script just here. And then you can provide the hosts or the host that this script can run on. So if I was to save this and go to any of these sites, so any site on this domain, I would see this script. So if I do that, we can see, hopefully, if I save this actually and come back, yeah, you can see there is a script running, and you can see there was a console log as well, which we can see just here. So this is where this is coming from. So you can see it's like a special context for this user script. So if we go into the code first before we look into anything else, we can see what this is actually using. So here is the manifest. You can see, like I mentioned, this is all based on the example provided by Google. So it uses the minimum Chrome version here to make sure that we actually have this included in our extension. And then we have the permission. So here you can see user scripts, which is this new API. We've got all URLs here. So this is why when we, as you can see in the options, where we can enter in the host, we need to be able to have this permission. Otherwise, that's not going to quite work. But when it comes to actually using this, I'd recommend having set types of websites that your extension is going to run on, because that all URLs permission is quite a strong one, especially for something like user scripts like this that could have quite a long review time. So then we've got a couple of things we can look at. So basically our service worker is really, really simple here. It's just as soon as the extension is first installed, it's going to open that options page, and whenever the icon in the tray is clicked, as I showed a minute ago, it's going to open the settings as well. So the most of this extension is actually happening within the options page. So all this is basically doing, as you can see here, is checking to see if the user has developer mode enabled. If not, they're going to see that warning, and otherwise they can see the options. So this is pretty much the template provided, but I've added this one option down here so we can actually set our host, or this part just here. So the main part of this extension all happens in this options page. So what we can see here is there's two main things that we need to do. First, we need to see what scripts the user has enabled. So you can see here we're using get scripts and inspect. We can see these are the existing scripts. So if we refresh now and come into here, after we saved it, yep, here we can see these are the scripts. This is what is actually saved when we use this. So you can see here is the host that we provided, and then we just have our script just here. So again, fairly straightforward example, but if we make changes to here and save, and then come back and inspect, we should be able to see the difference just here. Yep. And you can obviously add more than one script here. This example is based on just having one, but it's a really interesting way to be able to develop extensions that can add, to this experience. So particularly if you think of examples like TamperMonkey around right now, this is what they will need to be able to move across to Manifest version 3. One other thing we just need to show is how you can actually set this script. So it comes down to this part just here. So you can either update a script. So you can see here we've provided the ID of the script. So if you wanted to have multiple here, you can see we've just got default. But you could have this based on like a UUID, and you add that in each time, which we can then of course save to local storage or something to make sure that, like we're doing here, that we remember which scripts have been used. So you can have multiple that way. So you know when to update, because you can't register a script that's already been created. That could cause some issues. So there's two main options here. You can update an existing script or register a new one, but the options that you provided are exactly the same. So you can see here is our host. So you need to make sure this is in the format you'd use if it was to be within inside your host permissions in the manifest file. And then either if it's a file, we're using our user script file here. So if you had a number of predefined scripts that the user could run, you could have an option for those. And then we have our codes. This is where with the raw, inputted field from the user goes in here. You might want to add some form of validation here to make sure it's valid JavaScript, because they could enter anything, even just to format it, something like that. That would be a good way to expand on it. And that is basically it. So as soon as that happens, this gets saved, and then the next time users go to that page, they're going to be able to see that script is running. So as I said, this is based on this example here by Google. So this, the only change really I've made is adding in that option to provide the host. So as you can see in here, yeah, it's just the input type and then the text field of the actual script. So I'll put a link to both of those, to the one where I've made those changes and to the actual official example as well, so you can take a closer look. And if you really want to look into this more, you can see the full proposal of this user scripts API and the web extensions group. But I'll definitely recommend taking a look, trying it out, and seeing if you can build an extension with this. It'd be interesting to take a look. My Browser Extension Academy course is now available for instant access. If you just go to rustyextensions.com, there'll be a link to all of this in the description. You can get access straight away. We're not fully launched just yet. There's a few more videos I want to add. As you can see down here, there's a lot of topics that are covered here. You can find more, if you go to that link in the description. There's a few more parts I want to completely fill out before we have a full launch, and I'll put more updates in future videos to mention that. But there's a lot to go through here to cover everything basically when it comes to building extensions. If you've got any questions on certain topics that might be covered, feel free to send me a message. I'll put details below in this video as well. But yeah, that's how you can build an extension using the user scripts API. If you've got any questions on using this, just let me know. Put a comment on this video. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.